With the Norman conquest and a crowned king came the dawning of a new era for England. Nobles ordered the construction of mighty castles to fortify the realm. To rule this land is a birthright, but to control it requires the courage and skill few possess. It is a kingdom beset by enemies. The Scots press at its borders, the Vikings to the north, and the French separated by a mere channel of water. All of the country exists in a state of war, as even the common are called upon for duty. In these times of total war, it rests on the shoulders of those who lead to ensure the kingdom does not fall into ruin. France stands proud and powerful. Notions of courtly love have ushered in an era of nobility and chivalry. The legacy of Charlemagne still resonates with noble and commoner alike. Europe is a continent divided by mistrust and centuries of violence. As crusades carve a bloody swathe in the distant east, the ideals of chivalry and honor are tested time and again. In times of war, much is sacrificed. Countless lives are lost to battle and honor so that a kingdom can prosper. The Holy Roman Empire stretches across a vast expanse of Europe. Ruled over by the Emperor, who is crowned by the Pope himself, the Empire's influence is strong and far-reaching. From the moment that Charlemagne was crowned emperor, the soldiers of the Reich have fought and died for victory. Yet war, even when waged by a holy empire, is still a brutal affair. It is the Germans who wield the most power in the empire. Though it exists as a shadow of what once was, it will take a great general to lead the empire to its former glory. Spain is a land divided. Enduring the conquest of the Moors for many centuries has left a bitter taste with her people, who fight for liberation in the name of God and King. The Reconquista is fought daily. Years of mistrust and infighting has left Spain directionless. Unfortunately, the Moorish occupation of the Iberian Peninsula is still not enough to unite rival nobles. Times as dark and seemingly hopeless as these, the survival of the Spanish rests solely on the shoulders of those willing to go above and beyond the call of duty. Heroes must rise so that Spain can be free and united once more. The most serene Republic of Venice, as it is known, has become a power through control of trade to the Levant that expands through the Adriatic and Aegean seas. A new class is emerging in this city-state. A class of those who seek to profit in all things. And in these times, what can be more profitable than war? To the ruling Doge, war is simply another avenue for commerce. Soldiers' lives are spent like currency, so that the few can rise to prominence and power. Sicily has achieved great feats for so small an isle. However, it is a land embroiled in conflict, fueled by religious war. The king who will lead this land to greatness must first quell the conflict between its own people. Established itself as an empire, Sicily needs a leader not afraid to settle conflicts within their own borders and march their armies to war across the world. St. Ambrose watches over the citizens of Milan, a leader amongst the disparate Italian cities. The toils of its people have set the city apart from Holy Roman Imperial rule. Now it awaits a king who will lead the land to glory. War can be fought on many fronts and in many guises. For Milan to blossom into an empire, it will require the strength and wisdom of a leader who realizes this also. Scotland remains at the mercy of the English. Though its people are strong-willed and defiant, they face a daily struggle against subjugation. Despite this, these courageous people fight for a future where they are at the mercy of no one. For the Scottish, to fight is to survive. To shake off the shackles of oppression requires a mighty hero to unite the clans and forge an empire. Byzantium stands on the crossroads of Europe, Asia, and Africa. A prophetic dream led the Emperor Constantine to found the city, which is a center of culture, commerce, and diplomacy. For the dream of this land to become an empire, it requires the strength and courage of one willing to take charge of perhaps the most vibrant city in the world. Russia faces invasion by nomadic tribes and foreign conquerors. Its harsh landscape has given rise to a steadfast people, and their devotion has led them to great deeds. To survive, the Russians must fend off wild adversaries. To become an empire, they require a leader who will steal the kingdom and make its borders impenetrable. From African roots to conquest on the Iberian Peninsula, the Moors have established for themselves a reputation as fierce warriors. They are a people united by religion, yet divided by mistrust and rivalries. These lands and their warlords, though fierce, remain directionless. The strength of a mighty ruler is needed to unite them into the empire they could become. The nomadic tribes of the Turks are scattered throughout the world. Fierce warriors, they value wisdom and seek to both conquer and enlighten the world. Fierce in battle, but wildly independent, it will take the skills of a great leader to unite the Turks into an empire. A once ancient and mighty empire whose queen controlled the hearts of the world's greatest leaders, Egypt has fallen from this former glory. Despite this, the ruling caliph still wields great power and a mighty army. If ever Egypt is to regain the majesty of its past, it will require the likes of a ruler not seen in over 1,000 years. Denmark and its people have grown far beyond their Viking past. The tenacity of the country has now been turned towards forming a kingdom, with conquest and colonization replacing raids and spoils. Ferocious in battle, the Danish people have lost none of their past expertise at war. However, a country requires not only a warrior, but a statesman to lead it to greater glory. Portugal is locked in a constant reconquista, taking back land occupied by the Moors. Aided by the Knights Templar, its people are stoic in their mission and defiant to the end. Conquest can come only when the Reconquista is ended, and Portugal is its own kingdom once more. Its people await a king who will unite them and conquer an empire. Poland, a once proud kingdom, has fractured and splintered into a fragment of its former glory. Yet, even invasion and division cannot break the spirit of these stoic people who toil to rebuild this once great land. To the Polish people, an empire seems as distant a dream as a reunited kingdom. A king must stand strong and fight if ever this land is to rise to its potential. The Kingdom of Hungary was forged by the will of King Saint Stephen. Foreign incursions rally its people, who are determined that the country follow its own path. A kingdom founded by greatness requires the strength and will few possess to lead it to glory. An empire awaits one strong enough to carve it.